sometimes you feel scared to share something, but that I think is a good thing, because the more personal you become, those things become more universal. So I just think
post the cremation, they take the leftover, like there's a bone, there's pieces of the body that they'll put in and go for. Now that was so real. I don't think I've seen it in any other film so far in my life. A line that was told to us by earlier generation of filmmakers. It's when there are people who sit in a cinema and when the lights are off, the only thing that you can tell is truthful stories. And that's the only way people will learn how to lead a truthful life.
So I saw Sabar Bonda all over again. And I have to say that it's not as though I saw half of it, a quarter of it, and decided, oh, I remember the rest. I actually saw it from beginning to end credits all over again, because the first time I saw it was when I was going to meet Rohan. And this time I'm seeing it because I saw it because it's a special occasion. It's getting a theatrical release on the 19th of September. From me, Hrishi K, everybody who's watching, listening, this is the film, the Marathi film that has made us proud, won the prize at Sundance, and now Rana Daggubati's company is distributing it into mainstream cinema theaters. Rohan and Rana are with me. Hi, Rohan. Many congratulations.
Thank you.
On a theatrical release.
Thank you so much.
And Rana, well done again. The last time I met you for a distribution job was All We Imagine Is Light.
Yes, sir.
You seem to become some kind of a benefactor for award-winning films to be distributed into theaters. And that's such an important thing, isn't it?
Well, I think as audience first, we always like variety, and I think the last couple of years we've been deprived of that a little bit at the cinemas, where you get rather one type of film, a lot of one type style of cinema, but not the other varieties. And every time cinema that's slightly parallel, independent, or alternative comes your way, most people like it. I've never heard an audience that does not like a certain indie film, but there's no communication method that goes to a larger audience. And I feel like at Spirit Media, the reason this company was founded and what we want to do with philosophy is make sure that all types of stories reach the cinema. And we've always been in Telugu for the longest period of time. We've never moved out, and All We Imagine pushed us to venture out and say, okay, now let's see if there's a country out there that's going to watch this. And to what we hoped, the film had recovered more than its production cost in the box office itself. So which means it's actually numerically also it's something that is correct. It can become a business process if done right and carefully. So Sabar Bonda is the next in that list.
Yeah, so that really segues very beautifully into my next question, which was exactly that. You're a modest man. I've been interviewing you over the years. You've never come across as the kind of guy who says, I've got pots of money, I'm sitting on it, and I'm going to go produce and distribute things. There's got to be a business side to it. You've got to more than break even, make a little bit of extra so that everybody in the company is happy. And you do see that with movies like this.
I'm seeing that more and more nowadays for a simple reason that first, the cost of these films are much more in control than anything that you're spending with flamboyance. Because here, probably the most honest of filmmakers, financiers, everyone is in it for the right reason.
Correct.
It's not for a deal, it's not for a sale, it's not for a weekend number. It is to honestly tell a certain story to an audience. So I think first, that becomes of core importance. I go back to a line that was told to us by earlier generation of filmmakers. It's when there are people who sit in a cinema and when the lights are off, the only thing that you can tell is truthful stories. And that's the only way people will learn how to lead a truthful life. And I think cinema like this is extremely at utmost importance. And when now, in the advent of short content, social media and others, where there's too much at you, a pace of what human life is, the understanding of what human trauma or emotions are, understanding that in India doesn't matter, and especially with Sabar Bonda, where a subject matter like this is told in very modern metro type of settings, has taken a choice to tell it in a very, very rural environment. So I think that's really what keeps it special.
I was thinking, Rohan, what is it that we didn't talk about last time? We did talk about your wonderful relationship with your parents. But what we didn't talk about is how it translated into your relationship with your father, who's your dead father, the character, Anand's character, with his father who's passed away in the movie, and the mother who's still there. And such profound understanding that the mother and father actually protect the child. And the mother is so understanding that she says, "Ki tum jao, main thoda rukti hu." Yeah, Anand is protective about her and says, "If I tell the truth, they will target you." And she says, "I don't care if they target me." That being able to translate the real life into the screenplay, is it an easy thing to do or a difficult thing to do?
I don't really think about all these things. I just feel this is the truth and I want to share it. It is as simple as that. Because if you start thinking about this, then people also ask me, "This is so brave of you." I mean, I never think about this.
Yeah.
It just intrigues me, and I want to share this through the film. I want to share it with the world. It is as simple as that. So whenever I do that, it's first, is it making me excited to share it? Sometimes you feel scared to share something, but that I think is a good thing, because the more personal you become, those things become more universal. So I just think
More personal becomes more universal. That's really fantastic.
I read it. But that's truth. But that's truth, right?
He does that.
Yeah. So the lady who plays your mother, the actress's name, would you tell me? her
Jayshri
name?
Jagtap. Apparently, she just lost her father. That's why she's not here. She is going through that grieving period right now. So she's in the village, but she'll be back on 5th. So hopefully she will join us for the release.
And Jayshri does Marathi theatre, Marathi movies, all of that, huh?
Yeah, her journey is interesting. Like, I always wanted an actor for mother's role to mimic the background of the character, and apparently she has similar journey. She grew up in a small town, and she's literate, so she was working as a teacher, and then she she was interested in acting, but her family, her brothers were against it. But the husband that she found was an actor. So she told her brother, "See, you were always, not letting me do acting. Finally, I got a husband who's an actor." And so when she came to Mumbai, then she started learning acting, and then she started working in a theater, in Marathi serials. She did small roles also in some features, but this is the most longest role in the feature film.
I'm intrigued. What kind of pacing in cinema does Rana like in his personal life? Let's say you're in your viewing room and you're watching, because I see mainstream stuff, the Bahubalis and the Rana Naidus of this world. Of course, you're not the director in them, but you're involved in such a manner that one believes that you have a say, at least in Rana Naidu, of course. It's fast, it lends itself to the format, it's a thriller, it's quick, all the business doesn't take time. Cut to Sabar Bonda, which is really a slow burn. It's the antithesis of all the other stuff that you do. And it takes its time. It's really 1 hour 56 minutes of being involved with the chirping of the birds and empty frames. What is it that you like to, when you are at your home, in front of your home theater?
See, I think over my life, I've just watched so much different types of movies. That film tells me what pace I have to be at. And usually it happens in the first 8-10 minutes of that film. It'll kind of set you in whatever you're doing in the world, whatever your day was like, good day, bad day, whatever it is. The film will set you to say, "Here you go, this is the pace I'm going to talk to you at." And I think that's what I'm pretty acclimatized to. I wouldn't compare one to another. If this is a revenge drama that had to be told in a thriller format, there's a certain pace that narrative has to come to me at. And if it's a story that is talking about simple human emotions, the way of communications, the way of trauma expression, that comes at a very different pace. And I think the pace is very important, and the choice that the filmmaker makes to tell that pace is also very important right at the beginning itself. Because there'll be many times that, let's say, oh, this was a slow film, but I'm saying the filmmaker never intended it to be anything else. I don't know if he used a different pace, would I be as involved as I was in the film? Would I feel like I was somebody that is part of that village? Would pieces like the relationship between, every time the mother and son spoke, I started getting scared. Like I was like, okay, what can the next, because I'm saying it's something of taboo which you don't know. And especially for a guy who's grown up in a city, you don't know how a mother who'd be in a village would react to something like this. But it just turned around. I mean, the scene was nothing that I expected. The way the mother responds, the way, and also not underlining it like a force on the face, like, here you go, I'm accepting of you, but you got to accept it yourself, that this is the world that you live in. I think this is to me a great universal truth. And actually, by the time it gets to, okay, no spoilers, but by the time it gets towards the end of the film, every time the protagonist and the mother were going to have a conversation, I was like, okay, now how is it going to start, and how is this conversation ending? And I think that was pretty brilliant. I don't know any other pace would have accepted of these scenes. So I think each film will tell you the way
it's beautiful. I mean, it's the kind of relationship that you want for yourself, you want for your children, you want for anybody that you care for.
And then I was just thinking, you can think of this films or its space in a way, like, we are living in a city which is a fast pace, so we are living fast paced life, but once in a while we want to get out of that city in a quiet place, just spend some time there, right? So all the time when we are watching these fast paced movies, maybe this film can be a break from that, and you can get that similar experience that you get in a hill station or something. So that can be a healing also, right?
You're a debut filmmaker, which is why I asked this. When Rana called you, how did it happen? Was it a meeting set up mutually by somebody, or did he call you directly? How did he react?
So basically, Neha, who at that time who was doing the PR of the film, who's now as a co-producer also on the film, so she worked on All We Imagine Is Light, which Rana had distributed. So she informed them that there is this film that I'm working on, I want you guys to see it. So this was even before Sundance, when Pratiksha from their team, she came to watch the film and she really loved it, and that's when she told him that maybe you should watch it, and that's how this journey started.
Did you have to think, do your numerical calculation, or you just instinctively said, I want to distribute this?
One is more than numerical calculation. It's like, you're trying to champion something that's alternative. It's not being done in the industry. You'll have more people ready to say no to you than yes. So, which is why each piece of content that we pick has to outbeat the other. I'm saying, okay, All We Imagine was a great pick. Now, if you have to follow up with that, when Pratiksha and I first met and we decided to do cinema like this, we were like, how do we'll be successful only if we can make a habit out of this. Now it's been 6 months between film 1 and 2. We're like, the next time can we make it 3? Can we make it once a month? Unless audience knows that this type of cinema is available for them every month to watch, it doesn't become a habit. And the minute 2 or 3 films that they don't connect to land up, suddenly the habit, it takes another effort to get in there. So I think what was more conscious for us is, is this hitting the right notes in terms of truthfulness? Is it though it's a subject that is of alternative interest, how much of mainstream can kind of connect to it? Like, I always take a reference of Malayalam cinema and what that's taught us. They always take content that is very, very parallel in thought, in decision, but find a big mainstream audience for it. Enough so that even the mainstream stars are part of that cinema. So I think the rest of the country is playing catch up to them and saying, here you go, we need to find a place where both of this marries.
In that aspect, is there anything that you look at now, the film is done? For example, do you look at it and say, I should have put some music in it?
No. Otherwise,
Filmmakers are a peculiar breed.
I-
Filmmakers will sit back and look at their film and say, "Oh my God, 6 months down the line, I should have done this, that." No,
No, because see, when you are making a film like this, or the kind of technical aspects that we chose to do, we had to make that decision before I started writing a script, because without knowing that there won't be any music, you can't write a film like that. And I had to write scenes thinking of there is not going to be music, there is only going to be this natural soundscape. So how do I write a scene that can, have an impact on its own, and the writing and the performance? So you have to write it like that. You can't change that decision later. So it was always there. So I never thought about that.
in terms of the aesthetics, what did you like most? Did you like the framing of the scenes? Did you like rural Maharashtra and all its glory? Rana.
See, first, I think the honesty in the people was what kind of pulled it all together. I remember many years ago, we'd just distributed Bangalore of a film of a director called Ram, who's made a film called Titi.
He's just done a movie with Manoj.
Yes.
I was with Manoj day before yesterday, and Manoj was saying vibrant things about the fable.
Yeah. So, like, when I saw Titi, was the first time. Like, I went into a Kannada village. Like, I'm from Telugu. Though it's a state that's next to each other, the culture was so drastically different. And that's also a film that happens. Titi is 11 days.
Exactly.
And now here I see another film which I was like, okay, maybe it's like that. Then suddenly it takes a whole different turn. The honesty of the people and the way that life was captured. Like, there was, like, I was talking to him about a moment where post the cremation, they take the leftover, like there's a bone, there's pieces of the body that they'll put in and go for. Now, that was so real. I don't think I've seen it in any other film so far in my life. I've had people who I loved who we lost. We've seen that in real life, but never portrayed.
And there have been movies made on the Ghats, Masan, Pitamahan, all these films, and they don't have that detail.
And this detail is not there in any other film. Now that was something that, like, you keep with you, right? So these were moments like this that are always very special. The time that, like, his silences were just unbelievable. Okay, now you know what the character feels. You know there's a stay. You know the camera is not moving. You don't know if the character is moving or not either. And suddenly the character breaks out into a cry or into... I think those were moments which, when you know that the filmmaker is a filmmaker of craft, and there is a very definite need or a use that he is used to tell that tool. So I think that's what's impressed me. The first
Talking about that sequence, when my father passed away, I mean, we have always seen in the films of the immersion of ashes, but when my father passed, that evening I had to go to the crematorium, and suddenly I realized, of course, to do the immersion, you have to also collect it. That we never saw, and I was really surprised, and I had to pick those bones, and I was like, oh, this no one showed, and it didn't even come to my mind that I have to do it. So when that happened, when I was writing this, I was like, I'm not going to show the immersion of ashes because that's every film is showing. I'm going to show this.
Another thing that really struck me was the difference between lust and love. It's common, whether you're a gay man or a straight man. And you would identify with this, Rana. There's a scene in which both the boys are talking, and he says, of course there are more gay people around, but they want to be just fast, and nobody wants to sit and talk to me like this and enjoy the beauty of life. And that's equally true of straight relationships, man. You know, it could be happening in the village, it could be happening in the city. People just want to be quick and aggressive and go about their business. Whereas true love and true friendship is exchanging of feelings, sitting with each other and talking, and sometimes not even talking.
See, like he earlier mentioned about being universal, right? And after a point, it doesn't matter where the story happens. You're all connected to it. It doesn't matter if you're not, if you don't share the same sexuality, don't share the same understanding of rural India, even if you don't share anything in common, there is something that everybody will pick out of that. Because there will be relations in your life that will start mirroring it in some manner or the other.
The Sabar Bonda itself, the cactus tree, and how it has these beautiful, sweet fruit. And how true love to me is really that, picking out the cactuses.
Yeah.
And I think Anand receives a gift and he says he's picked that out. I thought that was really beautiful writing. I mean, is there something you have to think about? Again, just came out.
The fruit, because my mom used to talk about this fruit when I used to go to the village during summer vacations. So it had stayed in my head that time, but I had never seen the fruit as a child because there was no Google, and the fruit comes in winter and we used to go in the summer. So I never saw it. But while writing the film, when this moment came, I wanted to use a fruit. That thought came to my mind, oh, let me just now Google and see how this fruit looks. And that's when I Googled it and researched it. And I thought it was interesting the way you have to even remove the thorn and open the fruit. Some audience member also told me after watching that movement that they felt that, Anand is opening the heart. So I thought that is an
interesting analogy, yeah? Opening the heart, yeah.
So that's how that fruit actually came into the film, because I wanted to show something regional, and because the village that I'm showing is surrounded by mountains, so there will be cactuses over there. So that's why I wanted to use it.
Did you see the movie in Sundance or at a festival?
On a screener here.
In
Wow.
Bombay,
in the office.
Wow, that's interesting. And ever since you've been telling people you're distributing it, what are the kind of reactions you're getting from the fraternity?
See, the fraternity at large doesn't catch this yet because... See, what happens is your everyday job becomes something else. You're used to something else. You start getting trained to watch something else and behave in a certain manner. But anytime there's something that's alternative, the entire mainstream world is woken up to kind of come in its support. Because they're slowly understanding that there is an audience out there and we need to just take a different path for it. It can't be in the same path.
And are you able to watch movies just as an audience without putting your producer hat on, distributor hat on?
Some hat will be on. I don't know why. Some hat will be on.
Well, thank God the right hat is on to distribute Sabar Bonda. My time is up. Guys, it's in theaters. Rana, would you tell me, is it single screen, multiplex, everything?
Across. It'll be across single screens, plexes, just not in Maharashtra, but across the country. And 19th of September is the date it'll be out.
So not in Maharashtra as yet?
Not in Maharashtra alone, across India.
Oh, that's wonderful. So it's all over India,
yes,
including Maharashtra.
Yes.
Just because it's a Marathi film, do not feel it only as a Maharashtra release. That's what he means.
I think it's... I can vouch for it because I'm a Telugu guy who doesn't even speak Hindi well enough. But I liked watching a Marathi film. So I'm sure language is no barrier when you're watching this one.
Lovely. So it's in all the PVRs, Inoxes, Cinepolises, as well as single screen theaters. 19th of September, Sabar Bonda. It's directed by Rohan and distributed by Rana Daggubati. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
94.3 Radio 1.